Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for being here. I'm so delighted to have you. My name is Lisa Lyons. I am an etiquette coach, a wedding planner of 23 years, and an overall lifestyle content creator. And I love sharing my personal and business life with you, trying to share etiquette tips, wedding advice, and everything in between. So last week, I'm sure I mentioned that we are in full autumnal mode here. The leaves are changing and they're crackling on the ground. There's pumpkins on all the farm stands here and it's so glorious. But this is also our last week here. But it is bittersweet. I am looking forward to getting back home to Orlando, looking forward to seeing our neighbors and our community there, my friends, of course, visiting Disney World. I've missed it so much, and just getting into our overall routine over there. I really haven't had the opportunity to decorate for fall and autumn here because I knew we were leaving soon. So I'm looking forward to doing that as soon as we get back to Orlando in full autumnal swing. So in addition to this being our last week here, I cannot quite believe it, we are about to receive and welcome our last overnight guests for this season. And these are longtime friends of ours. They live in Ashburn, Virginia, and they also have a condo in Orlando. So we do get to see them quite often, but we've seen the gentleman from this couple before here, but we haven't had his wife, who's a dear friend of mine, here. So I'm excited to welcome Daryl and Jamie in just, tomorrow, a day or so? I don't know. My goodness, the days are rolling into each other. Do you know to try to pack to leave to go back to Orlando and then also get the house together welcoming for guests is a juggling act. But we're gonna do it. So I thought that I would walk you through everything I do to prepare for overnight guests, whether we are in Orlando or if we're here in Michigan. Sort of my process is always the same. So I'll go through my checklist with you there. I'll share some of the fun activities that we're going to do here in TC. That's what they call it here in Traverse City, by the way. It's TC. And have you along for the ride. I have some of my sourdough starter getting ready. I've been feeding her. By the way, her name is Marge because she's large and in charge. And when I get back to Orlando, I'm gonna have a different starter, so I have to think of a new name. So if you think of a good name, put it down below in the comments. So let's get started. We have no time to waste. I have work to do. I have to pack to leave for next week, and we have to host some guests. So let's get started and let's have a beautiful week together.
These are so soft.
Are they?
Yeah. Like, I thought they were tomatillos, but I don't think they are.
So what are they?
I think it's just an heirloom.
Oh, wow.
That is good news.
Okay, so some of the things I like to include in the guest bedroom and bathroom are things that you may already implement yourself when you have overnight guests, but I think it bears repeating, and some things are lovely touches, and there's a nice surprise that everyone is so excited to receive, and I can't wait to share that with you a little bit later on. But there are certain things like, we'll start with the bathroom. I like to leave an extra tube of toothpaste, some extra toothbrushes in case they forgot theirs at home. I know we've done that before. I like to have, there are those clean cloths, you know, those biodegradable disposable ones, so they don't have to use washcloths on their skin. I have a shower cap in there, just little amendment, obviously shampoo, conditioner, body gel, a bar of soap if that's what they prefer. So that's the bedroom, and that's the bathroom. In the bedroom, I have an extra soft blanket, a variety of pillows. I know that when my parents were here, they didn't like a certain type of pillow, so fear not. We had some softer ones. We had some, what is that called? Memory foam pillows that they were on, and they like the softer ones, so they can interchange that way. I like to leave some fresh flowers by the nightstand. That surprise I told you about. about, which I can't wait to share. And if you have a luggage rack, I think that's a nice touch. We don't here. I didn't really feel like sourcing one here this year, but we have a table that really has served its purpose in there for that. So we use that. I have them use that for their luggage to keep. They have drawers to unpack if you do. I'd love to know what kind of traveler you are. Are you the type of traveler, whether it's 2 nights, overnight, 2 weeks, do you unpack your entire suitcase and your toiletry bag and then repack, or do you just kind of live out of the suitcase? I'd love for you to guess which one I am. Yeah, I have to unpack everything. I can't live with that chaos. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so we offer a separate room or a closet, a garage for their luggage so they don't have to feel so crowded. You know, second bedrooms can be a lot smaller. These are usually couples that stay with us, so we want them to feel as comfortable as possible. As well, in the closet, I have about a dozen empty hangers so they can hang up their clothes, and a drawer for them, like I said, if they'd like to unpack their suitcase and have their clothes folded inside there. So let's get something started while we wait for the starter to rise, and then you can join me on all those stretch and folds as well. And let's get ready for Daryl and Jamie. Okay, so for the welcome note that I like to leave in their room upon their arrival, I either leave this on the bed or on a nightstand next to the bed. This is personalized letterhead. This has our monogram on here, and of course mine and Mr. Lyon's name here. By the way, now you can see Mr. Lyon's first name. I don't think I've ever said his name on this channel. At any rate, I think I want to get, well, I know I want to get different stationery for here in Michigan. This one is rather formal. The envelope has our return address from Orlando on it, but this is what I have here. So this is what we shall use. And I even keep a template in my notes app of just some niceties that I like to write, whether they're visiting our home in Orlando. We have a sweet little guest house that we call the Casita back there, which I can't wait to share with you. And of course, an extra bedroom here. So I'm going to address this to, let me move this envelope, to Dear Jamie and Daryl. And I like to say welcome to Traverse City. I'm not going to do the whole thing here, but I'd say something like, welcome to Traverse City. We're so delighted to have you here with us. Please make yourselves at home and enjoy the amenities here. We cannot wait to enjoy the next few days with you, or something like that. So I love to do that personal handwritten note. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a big fan of that. Sometimes they know what to expect, but I don't mind. While we're on the subject here, this makes me very sad. Do we see this? So let's talk about this for a minute. Okay, I had to put my hair up because I swear the humidity here is worse than Florida. My hair just cannot cope with it here, so I'm looking forward to it behaving itself like the proper young lady that she is when we get back, hopefully. One can hope. Back to the subject at hand. So if you know me, if you see any picture of me online, you will see that I always have had red nails. I often joke that if I don't have red nails in a picture, I must have been going through some sort of crisis or existential crisis during that time of my life. And when I do track those pictures, it's absolutely true. The last time I did not have red nail polish on my nails was when we went to South Africa 3 weeks ago, because it was advised to me that maybe red nails wouldn't be the best course of action on safari, and I took heed to that warning. So, but the fact of the matter is, after 20 plus years of either, back in the days when we had, they're not called press-on nails, what are they called? Acrylics? Tips? Anyway, I had those. Then gel manicures became all the rage. Then we went to the dip powder. Then I started doing Gel X, which reminded me of acrylics, but with gel, and I'm not sure why. They were fabulous, but I mean, grueling on my hands. And so I thought this time last year, let's get them healthy and try Dazzle Dry. And I shared that on my newsletter and everything. And Dazzle Dry is a wonderful product. I cannot wait to go back to it. But my nails still were not healthy enough for dazzle dries, meaning the polish never adhered. So my nails would chip just as easily as it would if I got a regular manicure. So if you are aware of having these types of manicure procedures on you, they use a drill after they soak off your nails to get everything. I don't know why they have to do it. I'm sure to get it all even and buffed and all the rest. Well, even with these gel nails, dip nails, all the rest, I could feel that my nails were hurting. I could feel that they were weak. My nails are so thin. I'm sure you can't see it here, but so thin that I can almost feel the skin underneath. I know that's kind of gruesome. I'm sorry. I should have given you a little warning before that. Forgive me. But they are so thin and they hurt so bad that when I had them soaked off 2 weeks ago, I can still feel my nails throbbing a little bit, that they're so tender. And I got a new Bond Repair nail polish that I will share below in the comments because I can't quite remember the name right now. And I'm hoping, I will say this time last year I tried it and obviously did not succeed because I went back to my, like the addict that I am, I went back to my red nails. But this time I'm in it to win it. I am never doing that. I'm never going to let someone put a drill on my nails again. And if that means I have to have natural nails with no nail polish on it, then I suppose that's my penance. But I'm committed and we're gonna do this. So anyway, that's why this is, I know when I tried this last year, a faithful follower of mine noticed it right off the bat. They're like, where are your red nails? So anyway, I'm a little bit sad, but I'm optimistic that I'm on my way to healthy nails. So follow me on my nail journey. Back to Hostess tips. Okay, so I'm here in the guest room and I'm about to prepare it for Daryl and Jamie's arrival. And I think it is worth noting that we literally just had guests leave this afternoon. I just got back from the airport after dropping them off about an hour and a half ago. So this is certainly the quickest turnaround that we've had with our guests, but you know what? Mr. Lyons and I love to host. We love our friends dearly, and we're excited to share this home and TC with them. So I'm overjoyed to do it. But I swear, we've been here since the middle of May and it was crickets. We didn't hear or see anybody, hear from or see anybody for months. And I think beginning August 9th, was that because I was in Orlando working through the 7th, and then on the 9th we had our first visitor, which was my mother-in-law. Remember, she was in one of the videos, and then my parents, of course. But we've had guests every single weekend up until this weekend, and Daryl and Jamie leave the day before we start our drive back to Orlando. So not for the faint of heart, but we're up for the challenge. So I want to start by showing you this really sweet little tray that I got here at Home Goods. I would say that 80 to 90% of the home accents in this house is from Home Goods. I'm telling you, those people over there love to see me coming. They see that car pull up and they're like, welcome, Mrs. Lyons. But it's, you know, we don't have very many stores here, and Home Goods is always a good time, at least for me. So on this tray, I like to leave it on their bed and leave some special treats and amenities here for them. Over there, I have an extra phone charger, Aquaphor. Anyone else, like, I need to sleep with like Aquaphor or Vaseline on my lips. So I like to keep those things here. Here's just a simple little bowl. I like to leave this on the tray so they can put it on one of their nightstands over there for jewelry. I know personally I don't like to sleep with my earrings on or any necklaces and my engagement ring. I'm not comfortable that way, so I like this little bowl here as a catch-all. If you have any local magazines or regular magazines, that would be fun to put on this tray. I collect some pamphlets from all of the beautiful places that we've visited around here. Old Mission is the particular area that we are in here in TC, but there are beautiful vineyards around here. Gosh, I've got to take you to those too. There are, I think, 10 vineyards here, and if you have not tried Michigan wine, you're missing out. It is excellent here. So we've really fallen in love with Michigan wine here as well. So I also like pretty picture books here and flowers recipes. Beautiful pictures in here, just something to look at while they're in here. So let's style this tray up and get ready for Daryl and Jamie. All right, so you might have seen I've loaded the tray up, probably a little too full, but better full than empty, right? So here's that book I mentioned, the pamphlets, the bowl. Of course, I always love to offer some fresh flowers when I can. These are from the local farmer's market. I'll show you the beautiful flowers that I found them from as well. They're always, what I love about the farmer's markets here is that the flowers change every single week because there are so many flower cutting gardens here, and whatever you see that week is what's fresh and growing right now, and it's all current. So I love, our flowers have changed so much, the varietals have changed so much over the course of the summer. So I also love to put a nice little candle. I love this candle, it has a pretty little tassel. Again, thank you Home Goods for always coming in clutch. But here is the sweet surprise that I always like to include for my guests. So I always like to include a personalized photo with them framed, and I put it on one of the nightstands over here. If Mr. Lyons and I are in the photo, I like to include it as well. It just sort of showcases the lovely times and memories that we've shared together. Oftentimes we had a couple that had just left their children for the first time, and I put a little picture of their children in there, and it made them sweetly emotional. So I love doing this. A great tip to do, obviously, if these are friends worthy of staying overnight in your home, I'm sure that your friends on social media, something like Facebook, where it's extremely easy to download images, and that's exactly what I do. I just go on to their social pages, or I look through my own camera roll to see if I have any fun pictures of us all together. I download them, I upload them to Walgreens. They're ready in 1 hour. Easy peasy, and the most perfect personal touch. She's ready. Which means we're gonna go to dinner with a bowl in our car. It did. She's one of the equestrian moms. While we're at the restaurant. Okay. We gotta do what we gotta do. And we're doing it. Stretch and folds from the car. We will do anything for fresh sourdough for our guests.
Honey, it's dinner time.
It is after stretch and folds. I don't want to completely manhandle her because she is a princess. But I can already see an air pocket right there, which is good. Okay. Let's get in the restaurant. Let me wash my hands. I'm coming out in 30 minutes for another stretch and fold, come what may. Well, good morning, friends. Please excuse the microphone, but the battery on my camera died, so I'm resorting to my phone right now to just show you how I'm going to put the sourdough together in the oven, score it, and all of that fun stuff. Yesterday was a first, doing stretch and folds in the car on the way to dinner, but it was a last-minute dinner invitation, and I wasn't sacrificing my sourdough for any situation. So I let her proof overnight in the refrigerator. I used to bake on the same day, but I've heard that the taste, sort of that more sour taste, improves if you let it proof in the refrigerator overnight. So I did that with my last loaf, and my last loaf was chef's kiss. So we're doing it again today. Let's get her out, preheating the oven to 450 degrees. Let's get Marge out of the refrigerator and make her pretty. All right, here she is. Now, you always put the loaf with the not pretty side on top, because I'm gonna flip it over here into the Dutch oven, which I have already lined with some cornmeal. This way it doesn't stick to the bottom here, and I love this silicone sleeve. It just makes it so much easier to transfer later. So she has risen beautifully. She has risen. And I'm gonna take her out, see if she comes out easily. Looks like she is. Beautiful. I mean, is that the most perfect fit? I don't know. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. I love this little tool. I'm going to sift some flour here so it helps make the pretty design. I'm not really great at my designs and I want to work on it because for Christmas I kind of want to start making some loaves to give as gifts, and I want some pretty designs for the holidays, and I really want to start working on inclusion loaves. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's when people put like olive and rosemary sourdough together, or blueberry and lemon curd and things like that. I mean, if Taylor Swift can do it, I can do it. I mean, she can do anything. But anyway, I'm gonna need my glasses for this part. Okay, so I have my trusty little, I think they call it a love, I don't know. It's got a little razor here, and you always wanna cut a little ear. So also I hear with proofing it overnight, it helps to score it a lot easier, and I can already tell it's a lot easier to do right now. So I do this so it gets a really nice flip. It also lets the loaf breathe a little bit. I'm gonna do some little wheat leaves here, little V's. This is where I always kind of get messed up. I mean, I don't get messed up, but I don't feel like it is appreciated like this is later. Like how people do swirls and initials, like I'd love to do a cursive L for Lyons and Lisa, but we'll get there. As someone once told me, hobbies are not, so you're not supposed to be perfect at your hobbies, because I was really stressed when I started baking sourdough, and I said I just want to be perfect at it, and they said that's not the point of hobbies. But sometimes I tend to disagree as a type A person. All right, so this is here. We will put her in the oven, see how she does, and we're gonna have fresh bread for our guests. $4.50 for 45 minutes. Okay, she is done. Okay, that was the timer. I thought I overcooked it, but I think it's just right. Here's that little ear I was talking about, and this, I told you, is my best friend. I just transfer it on over here, and then I can shimmy the loaf right off. Easy peasy. You can see it did not stick to the bottom of the pan, and the true test is when you hear that nice hollow sound. This one, she's a beauty. Proud of you. Okay friends, I'm going to end the video here in the garden while I harvest some remaining veg ahead of their visit. I have plenty of Swiss chard, tomatoes of course, the heirlooms are my favorite. I have yellow squash over there, some kale, plenty of chives, and cucumbers right over there. I already have some recipes in mind that we can include with all of these veg so we can enjoy them together. I hope that you found some of the tips that I shared in welcoming house guests useful to you, and that you may even, well, implement them the next time you have guests in your home. I want to thank you so much for joining me this week. And as always, it would mean the world to me if you could like, subscribe, and share this episode. And in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in next week's video. Bye-bye.